With this video, we are going to explore the clone stamp tool. I have my retouch layers active, so I'm ready to go. I picked my tool over here, the clone stamp tool. And you might remember a couple of videos back I said that there was this finger-like thing that I want to remove. I'm going to start there. So I'm going to make my image larger so I can see what I'm working on. And there's that finger. Isn't it odd? But anyways, with this tool you take the exact tone and it hides the problem area. So I'm going to start, make my brush a little bit bigger here, and I'm using the bracket keys to do that. Right bracket key larger, left bracket key smaller. I could also go up to the options bar and choose the brush size there, but you might remember from the last video, I think it's a little easier to just use the bracket keys because you can see what's happening. So this tool works just like the healing brush in that you have to set a source point. Remember, it's exact pixels. So I'm going to come down here below and set my source point. And I'm going to come here and just take out that shadow. I'm going to set my source. I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. There we go. And notice I just drew a line. So I had a couple of things that look like little repetitive marks. I'm going to do the same thing from up above. So get that kind of looking the same. But there's a problem. I need this shadow. So I'm going to come over here to where it is shadowed. And I'm going to set my source point again. And now I'm going to move to the edge. And I'm just going to start to paint this in. So click, let go. Click, let go, click, let go, click, let go. Now you can see it's a little bumpy, so I'll just come down below again, set my option, my source point with the option key, and I'll just kind of touch that up. So that looks lots better than it did before with the finger. Remember that exact tone. Now let's go up here to this girl's face. I'm going to make the image larger so I can see what I'm working on. Now, a lot of times I would say use the healing brush, but because there's so much texture in this photograph, if we did that, it would become really smooth and look unnatural. My brush is way too large, so I'm going to make it smaller. We want our brush to be slightly larger than what we want to be retouching. I'm going to set my option key again, my source point, by holding the option key, and I'm just going to keep working on this face. I want to try to keep the texture. That's the goal. So I'm working small, trying to pick good source points. And the good source point would be not to be cloning something we're going to want to get rid of in a minute. You can see I'm moving my way across. I'm moving back over here. I'm being careful to try to pick like tones. And I can do a little bit of painting, but you want to be careful what we're doing. And if you do something wrong, remember you can always hit Command Z to undo what you've done. Okay, I'm still happy. I just took a moment to slow myself down and take a quick look. You can probably hear me clicking away. Remember, we want to try to keep the tone and the texture, not smoothing things out too much. So I don't want to just paint, paint, paint. My brush is set to aligned like we talked about in the last video. Let's see here. I don't think I like that. I'm going to go back to. Let's try that again. So I can do Command Z, and I can do multiple undos. So I'm just taking my time here. I want to make sure I keep that shadowing. Now, to see what I've done, I can come over here to the layers panel and turn the eyeball on and off. So that's what it looked like before, and that's what it looks like now. So we're looking pretty good. I think I'm going to do a little bit more work right in through here. Kind of take a little bit of that out. But I'm becoming pretty happy with what I'm seeing. See that big dark spot on her chin? I'm going to take that. I don't want to remove all of that because that's part of that shadowing. I'm going up to the hair now. That spot up in the hair is kind of bothering me. Let's take care of that. I'm going to come back to the face. I'm on the right hand side of her face. Just get a few more of those dots. Looking pretty good. I'm on her finger now. Okay. Moving away here. And I'm at 600% right now is what I'm viewing on my screen to do this retouch. So I can see everything I want to see. I'm up by the eye. I'm going to make my brush smaller. And I'm just going to kind of swoop under here. Remember, this is the exact tone, so I want to pick the exact tone. And I'm going to go back up to the hair. I'm going to come over, make the brush a little bit larger. I'm on the left-hand side hair a little bit, taking a little bit of time there. Okay, back to the eyeball, on, off. On, off. I see another spot up in the hair. One of the things when you turn that eyeball on and off, you actually see more of what you've missed. Now I'm going to do a little bit of work on the nose because I wasn't even paying attention to the nose earlier because I was more concerned about the face. Remember, when I keep... Oh, didn't like that. Let's try that again. Gotta make it darker. There we go. You want to try to keep that shading so that the nose doesn't look flat. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So you can see how this tool works. One other thing I want to show you is over here as I fly around. Okay, so I'm just going to make this a little smaller. So an area like this, if you were using the healing brush, I make it big, and I select over here, it's going to try to blend this so it still stays kind of dark. But Command Z, Command Z, if I were to do that with the clone stamp tool, make that a little bit bigger, same process, Option, click, it looks a little more natural. So if things are looking lighter or darker, jump back and forth between the two tools and see which one you think is working better. Okay, remember texture, if you want to keep the texture, clone stamp might be doing a better job for you than the healing brush, because remember, healing brush blends, clone stamp is exact pixel for pixel. Okay, go and explore this tool.